Okay, I've been streaming a lot, and I've been making the same mistake. Forgot to cut the cameras. Welcome back. It has been a minute. God, I should have drank some more water. Still, got that cough out. We're watching Daredevil: Born Again, season 2, episode 1, The Northern Star. As you can read, hopefully, you're clicking on this video because you know what you're getting to. It's been a minute. I'll probably make a video. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna make a video, but circumstances in my life have changed. It's been a year later since the first season came out, and my life has been turned upside down. But as far as Daredevil goes, I am tentatively excited to see where we go. Obviously, we were building up to what's it called? Devil's Reign kind of esque inspired storyline. I liked some of the things from season 1. Most of it I didn't like, to be honest. Not that I've had time to sit and mull with it. I think the problem is, if it was like its own thing, I kind of would be more accepting of what's happening. But because it's following up on arguably some of the best superhero TV out there in general, you know, Marvel and DC and other properties, I really think this had a lot of weight to live up to, and so I don't think it really hit the mark. I'm always sort of gracious with a season 2 or, you know, a sequel, because I want to see, okay, now that you've gotten feedback from the first one, let's see what you do differently. I'm trying to think of what show it was specifically. You know, I think there is a lot of, not a lot, but, you know, I do give some leeway to, like, okay, your first one, you're just trying things out. you had a vision in mind. Maybe you didn't quite hit the mark, but now that you got public feedback, let's see what you got for real. So that's where I'm kind of at here with this one, with season 2 starting. From a lot of, like, I've been kind of out of the Marvel sphere for a while now, except for Daredevil. You know, even comics I haven't really been keeping up with as much as I want to. If they can do a decent adaptation of Devil's Reign, I'll be really happy, because, but at the same time, I'm scared because what they have to work with is Little White Tiger and Jessica Jones. Punisher is apparently not in this season, which I don't know why he wouldn't be. Very much setting up that he should be, but I think he's getting his own, like, 90-minute special sometime after this season ends, so we'll see what he's up to. I know he's going to be in Spider-Man also. Speaking of Spider-Man, they have the hand in there, so there's a lot of, like, cool, interesting things going on. I'm already seeing sort of critiques about this season because of the timeline. Basically, you know, Frank should be there. Spider-Man, where is he? And then we saw the Spider-Man trailer already, and it's not really mentioning Fisk at all. So, like, it's a weird, like, okay, things are happening. Where does this take place? What if people, you know? I just want to say all this because I want to sort of portray where my head is at with this show so far. You know, again, I'm trying to give it some leeway, but there is a lot of things that they're going to have to overcome. Hopefully they are going to give us surprises, give us some good story. At the end of the day, you know, that's all we can really ask for, I guess, for an adaptation. And yeah, I'm going to stop blabbering because that's not why we're here. We're here to watch the show.
When I saw you,
Adrenaline, I'm sure.
Foggy.
Why? I don't like Matt Karen. I like them both individually. As a ship, no. What are we doing here? I like BB's character, but I also kind of forgot. She wasn't really in the promo stuff, so before the show, so before the season aired, so I kind of forgot that she existed. Isn't curfew at 8? Why are people still driving around? There's Northern Star. Obviously, the title, I'm assuming, is an homage to Poindexter, Bullseye, you know, his North Star bullshit. So, interested to see how that all plays in. He's just in this black suit now. I hope they give some explanation for why. It's so, I don't know, very difficult line of camp and realism that you need to have, because obviously it's a superhero thing. They're campy, but just something about the way this is shot the like extendo nightstick looks weird. Hello. For what it is, you know, they're adapting this how they want to. I like the aspect changes, the rate, you know, the visual ratio. Who the fuck's doing Wing Chun? I know Matt doesn't. Karen? That's stupid. Like,
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I can help with that.
Oh, yeah. Kind of counting on it, Miss Page.
No! No! I don't like it. Who the fuck is he supposed to be? He's just some dude right now. Hello? What's happening? Like, I'm intrigued, okay? That's a what's happening of intrigue. You know, I'm willing to let it go for a little bit. Hopefully they explain what the fuck's going on, though. Okay. Girl. It's just... eyeliner in a wig is not gonna make you somebody different. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I can see where she's coming from now. That actually it explains a lot.
Do you? Then you know you're being held here under the Safer Streets Act.
I like that. It explains so much about her character now. The best characters in the show. Let's go. I never had a problem with Cherry. Like he's not a great character, but like I don't. I just like the memes. Oh my god! In a move surprising no one. I forgot. I had to do some technical stuff when recording the screen. Anyways, apologies. We're actually screen recording now. Yeah, let's pick back up into the episode.
Oh, I don't know. Legal aid hostel.
Yeah. Yeah. At least I get to keep my soul at the end of the day.
Oh. God. Her fucking... their desk is crazy.
I read the tea leaves. Kirsten, come back to the DA's office.
Fuck you.
Oh. Did they swear as much in season 1? I don't know. It feels like they're like, okay, we're TVMA. We could do whatever we want. But I do like Kirsten's character. You know.
What a risk. Me? You're old. Fuck you. Hey.
I feel like they're not like red flags for Cherry, but death flags. I just feel like the writers know what they're doing. Isn't curfew? What happened? Like they specifically reminded us the curfew is at 8 p.m. I feel like it's late. Why were they here still? Why was that's bad on you. What the fuck? Oh.
B.B. Eric. My useful little paw. Look.
That's a female. Is I was wondering, is BB the one? Is this BB? Somebody's not filling out that bodysuit. BB is kind of small.
Whoa, chill.
Deputy Mayor now, Miss Eric.
Oh, yes, you
Your
remind me
deputy
all
mayor?
the
Is
time.
that?
I mean, even
Was
though
that your position? I don't
salary,
remember.
you can't afford.
I know. I appreciate that.
I don't know if I'm stupid, but I don't get
By the way,
how these two. I hope they expound more on her this season, because I don't get what, you know, if she's like playing him, fine, but it feels like at times she actually has like a connection and like cares about him, which is weird for me, because like, didn't you guys meet last season? I don't know. I like the mirror play here.
Yes. We're doomed to try.
Dude, what are you doing to him?
Run.
Because you're doing this to me. What the fuck do you think? Just good cop, bad cop, I guess. Even if it's an act, like the good cop, bad cop thing, I do like Buck. You know, he's one of the new characters I kind of fuck with a little bit, because he reminds me of like, I don't want to say a better Wesley, but like he has that sort of vibe of like I'm the second in command, you know. Whereas Powell, yeah, obviously they highlighted it here pretty well. The difference in Powell and Buck.
Right.
try to be abrasive? Is it part of your tradecraft?
Oh,
I am what I am, Mrs. Fisk.
who are you, sir? I'm very intrigued by like.
Look, Mr. Mayor, the people I work for are very grateful for the use of your very special port.
Who are?
Do you like him?
Good.
I mean, he grows on you, but no, not like that.
Never forget, BB, we are manipulators.
Is this some, like, sisterhood here, end at the lesson type shit?
I'm pretty sure Ben died to save me.
Shit. Yeah.
The best way to honor them would be not to join them.
You have a PhD. My jurors have the internet.
If I can convince them that Duquesne is a sociopath, I might have a much easier time sending him back into a deep, dark hole.
And one of these days, we should have a drink, don't you think?
I don't date lawyers. Oh. I'm very fascinated with what they're going for her character. I think I don't quite understand what that conversation was about, but I do like what they're doing with Heather. Like her whatchamacallit, trauma over Muse, and how it explains why she's so willing to go along with Fisk and his anti-vigilante stuff, because she firsthand experience with vigilantism and like masked people and stuff. So obviously she's, I don't want to say swayed, but you know, that is where her storyline, I don't know. I like that part. I just don't quite get the conversation with the lawyer. Like, what is he trying to say? It's, to me, I'm assuming like, okay, fudge the data, basically make it look more like he should be put away forever or whatever. Why is everyone doing boo? You guys need to keep room for Jesus. Is he gonna die? Who's this? Now. Oh.
He's here, Daredevil!
How did he get so close?
Not okay.
Get here so quick. So, yeah. How'd he get here so quick? Oh. Oof. Ah. I did get spoiled on that, so I was expecting him to show up, but okay, interesting. I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if I've gotten worse over the years, but I can get very rambly. So what I want to say first is, I don't know if I want to go over characters first or like overall the episode. I think it makes more sense to go over the episode first. I've mentioned a couple times during this episode, I like what they're building. You know, I see some of the pieces coming into play, some of the foundational pieces, and I'm like, okay, I like that. You know, Heather, like I said, Heather's trauma with Muse, that sort of informing her, that sort of building block there. I like whatever the fuck Matthew Lillard's character, Charles, whoever he's supposed to be. I didn't mention it during the episode, but you know, I don't think he is playing this character, but it reminds me, I think they're Stromwinds. They're sort of a newish thing they've introduced into the Daredevil comics. I don't even know I think they died in the comics, but they were sort of a billionaire couple that were very prominent, and like they were the new Fisk basically for a little while before Devil's Reign officially takes place. But you know, during Zdarsky's run, I believe he introduces those two characters. So he kind of gives me that vibe a little bit. I don't think he is that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, whatever's going on with Matthew Lillard's character, I'm very interested in. I want to know more, but like I get why they're doing it subtly and like just little breadcrumbs here and there. But yeah, that's probably one of the things I'm most excited about for this season, is just like figuring out who is he? You know, they kind of mention, you know, his benefactor, like his whoever his boss, and they don't really go into it. But I feel like as an audience member, we're supposed to infer that Fisk knows who that is. So I like that there is somebody he is, I don't want to say afraid of, but you know, there is somebody who he is like, okay, I'm willing to see what you can do for me, you know, because anybody else, and I feel like I've seen or interview or something, so I kind of got that, I don't want to say spoiled, but you know, I kind of knew this is what his character would be, but you know, just playing up this obnoxious kind of rude, you know, mannerless individual who can still get what he wants from Fisk is very interesting to me. It really quickly makes you think, okay, who is this man? You know, it creates intrigue very on spot. I don't particularly think it's a good writing technique, like innovative or like something that I personally like, but it's a very effective writing technique of like, okay, you know, this is who he is and you're going to want to know more. I'm kind of going into characters anyways, but with Cherry here, I liked the little parallel with Foggy, so I think that's good. You know, just as we talk about Heather having her trauma with Muse, we have Matt kind of having his trauma with Foggy. So I was honestly thinking for a second, okay, Cherry might die. Again, I don't have a particular beef with him. I do think he's a nothing burger of a character. Out of all the new characters they introduced in this show versus the original Netflix show, he's at the bottom. Like, it's not even a question. But it's not like I, you know, hate him and I wish he was never, you know, I wish he was dead and all that shit. And he's like, he's whatever. They have to have his character in here, but I'm glad again that the writers have figured out, okay, this is the feedback on the character. We need to do something with him. So if they kill him, it's one, you know, I think it would be kind of too much to kill him off. But I do like the direction they're going of like, okay, we need to like give him something. So they had a little scene, Matt and Cherry had a little scene earlier. It was like, okay, kind of, it wasn't directly saying anything, but I do think there was a little bit of subtle nod to the audience like, hey, we know Cherry's not the greatest. And I think that end scene, you know, comes out of nowhere, but it does and creates some sort of emotional attachment to Cherry at least, which I think is the biggest problem with him is like, you know, his type. He's very stereotypical. There's a lot of the characters in the show actually are very stereotypical, which is I don't like them. Matthew Lillard's I'm including in there. It's a give and take. It's so weird how the show does such good things on a writing standpoint, and then on other times you just lose me, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Let's keep going with characters while I'm on that train. We have Kirsten. I talked about in the episode. I really like Kirsten's character. I liked her since, you know, the first time we got introduced to her. I think she's a really good actress at playing that sort of, I don't know. I appreciate that she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She is filling the role of Foggy in a way. You know, Foggy in season 1 of the original Daredevil, he was in the dark about, you know, the nightlife basically. But he was sticking up for Matt. And so she's kind of doing the same thing of like, she is his business partner. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on, but she's sticking up for him. You know, this other DA or whatever, the other lawyer, the DA guy, he was like, hey, come with me. You know, I will give you whatever money you want. And, you know, you get to be on the winning side. And she says, fuck you. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to keep my soul intact. It's very much like Foggy. So I like that she is, maybe it's because she is so much like Foggy, but at the same time, we don't have Foggy. So like, hey, I'll take her. But I like her character. Kind of going off of her for a second. One of the things I don't like, I don't know if it was like this in season 1 of Born Again, but I feel like they're really just being overly mature and like blood and violence and swearing for no reason. You know, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I feel like, yes, the Netflix shows were dark and gritty and mature also, but it didn't have to be like this to like prove a point. You know, this one feels like I just turned 18 so I can go to an R-rated movie. You know, it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like natural. It feels like they're just having characters like Karen swears every once in a while, but like I think she swore a lot in this episode. I feel like every character got to say an F-bomb this episode or like shit or something. So it was weird of like, again, it's a writing thing of like consistency, you know, just giving characters the license to swear when some of them don't really swear is part of their, you know, I was going to say a complicated word, but now I can't remember their lexicon. You know, like I don't know if Matt swore this episode, but you know, it doesn't feel like he's a swearing type, you know, only in certain circumstances. Karen, again, I'm pretty sure she's sworn before, but just the casualness with which she's swearing now, it could be informing her character of like where, you know, her growth in a way. But to me, it just feels lazy. Like, okay, if every character swears, then it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't have any weight to it anymore. They're all speaking the same. Part of, I don't claim to be anything, but I just think that it's, you know, a sign of a good writer and good writing is like being able to write the different characters and having different perspectives. And to me, a lot of them feel homogenous because of their vocabulary. You know, Fisk is one of the characters who doesn't really swear a lot, if at all. And I think that so far they've kind of kept him intact. It was very obvious during his scene, you know, the dinner table scene with him, Vanessa, and Charles, where Charles was like swearing up a storm or, you know, just his casualness with whatever he wants to say, whereas Fisk and Vanessa have this refinedness to them. So I liked that. But then if you look at the whole episode, it's not consistent in that way. You know, everyone kind of just becomes more homogenous. Okay, going back to characters, I mentioned BB before. I like that they did address like her and Karen. At the start of their conversation, she was like, you know, do you like this guy or what? She's like, he's my informant. You know, he's like, he doesn't know. He's kind of stupid, but he's kind of lovable in a way. So I do like that they are, because that was when I nitpicked. It was like, why are they a thing? What, you know, not a thing like that, but why are they attached in a way? Why are they friends? I like that they are setting up that, no, BB is using him, but then in the same sentence, they pretty much said, be careful you're not being used yourself. So I don't know here. I do hope that it is more of like, you know, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm doing my thing. I feel like it makes no sense if she is the one doing this sort of anonymous video, whatever, that Fisk thing, because that way she can keep in her normal, you know, I am Fisk's sort of PR manager. But then on the flip side, she's like, anonymously though, I'm taking down everything, you know, I'm saying everything I want to be saying here in this, you know, anonymous forum version. But yeah, I'm hopeful for her character, but I'm also nervous that no, they do have it, just because it's I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm going so fast in my own head. Sorry. But her and I can't remember his name, deputy mayor guy, right? I never understood their relationship, because I'm pretty sure we see them like meeting in season 1 of Born Again. So from that means that their whole buddiness has only come from there. And I feel like it's been usually like kind of hostile in a way. So I don't get why they're so attached to each other. I like it better if it is a one-sided thing of like, he likes her, but she's just using him. But then again, during her scene with Karen, it was like, well, be careful you're not being used yourself. So I'm kind of like, oh, I really do hope that's not the case, because I don't like that. And then I do like bringing up Ben Urich himself in that conversation, and how, you know, there is that sort of lineage thing. Yeah, I like that conversation. I think thinking about that scene, it highlights another thing that I don't like about this episode, and about this revival, I guess is the word for it. I don't know why I said it like that, but the revival series. A lot of my issues, what I was thinking during the episode is a lot of my issues are kind of coming from a production standpoint. I love the actors. I mostly love the writing. You know, I like the writing more than I dislike it. But what kind of irks me, again, is heavy use of CGI. It's the way that some of the scenes feel more like they're on a set versus like in a real location. where, you know, again, it's hard because you want to compare it to the original show. And I know I said I wasn't gonna I was gonna try and let it have its own thing, but it just, yeah, I think what a lot of the magic was from the original show was that it felt real. You know, it was grounded for a reason. You know, and there's obviously the mystical ninjas and shit, you know, like there is some supernatural stuff in it, and there is like reason for that. But then when you come here into this Born Again and you want to be like, they're camping it up, and it's weird because I mentioned at the start of this episode how like there is a fine line of, you want to embrace the camp because superheroes are camp, you know, they're running around in spandex and, you know, flying around and shooting laser out their eyes and all that stuff, you know, I understand that. But at the same time, maybe it's just a thing of like, sometimes you can't adapt certain media, you know. the fight for like going, you know, read comics again. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, is like, maybe I just want to go back and read some comics. But yeah, what takes me out of a lot of the scenes is that, again, it just doesn't feel like it feels like I'm watching a show for a little bit. You know, I'm really delving into what the actors are saying, and I'm believing the characters for a minute. And then we get Karen in that fuck ass wig and in the eyeliner, and it's like, who are you fooling? And that, you know, again, it's kind of being one of the talking points on Twitter right now after this first episode came out, was like the lighting, and it just, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that is kind of going in my mind as I'm watching this show, is like, it is supposed to be, it's a new thing, it's a own thing, but 10 years ago, why was it so much better? why did it do the same, not the same story, but, you know, why could I believe these people so much more? It feels like some scenes, you know, they're the ADR, they're voicing over their own stuff. You know, I don't know how, you know, there should be a bigger budget here. It feels like we lost something, and I don't know, I don't want to say who's to blame, but, you know, I don't know what part of the show is like not fully integrating with me. Okay, Matt and Karen. I said I don't like it. Not that I don't want there to be a relationship, like a love thing at all. You know, it's fine if there is, but him with Karen, we've done it for one. I feel like we were in a healthy spot at the end of season 3, and then even during season 1 of Born Again, it was kind of like, okay, you know, we will always mean something, you know, we'll always be important to each other, but it's not like that. And then all of a sudden, here we go, bam, we're like that. And I don't like it. I think it diminishes both characters in a way. And then I guess as we're talking about them right now too, the random, like, I don't know what they're called, the wooden dummies. I just got off of watching the Man series again, rewatching. So that, I don't know if it's in other martial arts styles, but it's primarily, what I know it from, is Wing Chun, and like, it does not mesh with Daredevil for me. You know, like Daredevil is supposed to be like a brawler, boxer, MMA kind of type, and him doing Wing Chun all of a sudden, I don't understand. And then Karen also, like, I get wanting to have Karen, like, I'm gonna try to withhold judgment on that. You know, maybe it'll work out great, because like, I'm trying to think of like Claire. You know, she had little kung fu arc also during the Iron Fist show, so like I can't judge too harshly. They like to do that, but it just doesn't feel like, I don't know. Why does it have to be Karen doing it? You know, she can fight back in other ways. I get that she wants to, you know, her self-defense, she was already like kind of a badass, because she is like, not that I'm, okay, gun rights aside, you know, she had proven like, okay, this is my weapon of choice. This is how I fight back, right? Like, yes, she's a very intelligent, smart not detective, but, you know, investigator and all that stuff. So like, she fought back with her mind, but then she was also like willing, you know, she was willing to go there, and now all of a sudden she's gonna like start doing a hand-to-hand. Like, I get from a it's realistic in a way. I'm talking about realism so much, but I can understand because me personally, I'm a proponent of like self-defense in that way. I'd rather learn a martial art than learn how to shoot a gun personally. And I think it is better overall to like learn multiple disciplines, So I get like, okay, yeah, she wants to be able to protect herself in multiple different ways. If she gets disarmed by a gun, then she can fight with hand to hand. Fine. It just doesn't feel normal. It doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird thing of like you can talk your way into that, but I'd like it better if she was just like, no, she's. It's taking her away from Frank in a way also, because her and Frank kind of had that similarity of like, we're gonna use firearms, and they had such great chemistry and everything. No, but now it just feels like lump her with Matt. She's gonna punch people also. I don't. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but that's kind of where my head's at with that. I don't give a fuck about swordsman, whatever. It's funny how much screen time he's getting. I still haven't seen the Hawkeye show, but I think he's from that apparently. Yeah, I'm interested to see where the Heather stuff is going. Like I said, okay, that's pretty much it. I think I'm just talking in circles at this point. I guess the last thing really is the last part of the episode. What the fuck is cool? Bullseye's here, but like, what are we doing? Who is Bullseye? Last we left off, he was trying to kill Vanessa or Fisk or somebody, like he's kind of on that spectrum of things. So I like I guess a begrudging ally, or like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, right? Maybe that's where sort of he is. I don't think Matt's gonna want to work with him, but I think Bullseye in his frame of mind, he's like, well, if I don't like Fisk and you don't like Fisk, then that means we like each other. But Matt's like, no, I hate you. You killed Foggy. So it's gonna create some interesting drama there. I'm excited for that, but it is kind of just like, what is? I know he can do it. Wilson Bethel, I think he can do it. So I'm excited to see him jump off the deep end and just be like crazy, spurned Psycho X kind of vibes for Matt. We've seen some behind this. Well, I think it was in the trailers or something. I didn't watch them, but I seen stills of them like shirtless in Frank's hideout or whatever. So like, I think it's there. I don't think it's gonna be as much as I want it to be, but I think there's gonna be like homoerotic subtext of like, I loved you, like you are my North Star now. But yeah, the more they ham up, because like Bullseye in the comics is crazy. He's like crazy. So I'm excited that I feel like they're going to lean into it, which is cool. Anyways, I think I'll be after up on the after. Exactly. Thanks for joining me. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Next time, we'll actually know what the fuck we're doing. It's been over a year. Has it? No. It's been under a year. It's been a long time since I've recorded. I am streaming on Twitch most times, most weeks. We're not gonna go there. Check my links. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode, and excited to see where the season goes. All right, I'm gonna stop. Bye.